from the ashes.
Welcome, SonicWall channel partners. How are you doing today? Well, we're off to a great start here in Q3, and one of the exciting announcements is our MPSS SKU. And with that being said, I'm going to bring in our Executive Vice President of Managed Security Service Team, Michael Crean. Michael, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, Chris. How about yourself?
Great. Well, you gave me some new theme music, so I'm feeling really cool right now, so I appreciate it. Hey, so we kicked off our Q3 last week, and we made some exciting announcements, right? One of the things to keep in mind for all our partners out there, as I stated last week, is we removed the Essential Protection Security Suite. We are now leading with either our APSS, Advanced Protection Security Services, or our Managed Protection Security Services. So, Michael, I'm going to have you jump in here. Let's kind of jump in right away and talk to us. Why did we create an MPSS SKU in the first place?
Well, I think one of the things that we saw, Chris, is that a lot of our partners are struggling with talent, like finding enough people to do all of the jobs that you need, and then truly getting that expensive talent that is dedicated to being a subject matter expert. And one of them is being a firewall management security expert, knowing what security configurations you want to put in place, keeping up with the firmware, taking that patch management to the next level. Gartner has said it, just like it says on the screen, 60% of, and I'll say compromises because I don't like using the B word, are due to misconfiguration. And I've certainly seen a lot of that in the last couple weeks with some things that have been going on. Lots of really unfortunate, even to the point that seeing firmware that hasn't been updated for almost 3 or 4 years. It's the dark box that sits in the closet that nobody thinks about, that is kind of out of sight, out of mind. And as long as the internet's working, nobody thinks about it needs any love, care, and feeding. So it's the vulnerabilities associated with not doing those updates that cause these compromise. It's the partners that, have these vulnerabilities that then are being exploited. And right now, our stats are showing that when a vulnerability is introduced to the world, it takes about 48 hours for threat actors to take advantage of it.
Mhm.
And most, whether it's a server or a switch or a firewall, we're starting to see that average patch times are between 90 to 120 days.
That's wild. So let's talk about the two services, right? I mean, most of our partners, especially mine in SoCal, they're leading with the APSS, right? You can see on the screen, it comes with the 10 essential threat services. More importantly, the 0-day sandboxing with Capture ATP. And as we announced back in October, one of those devices comes with a $100,000 embedded cyber warranty. Talk to us a little bit about the uniqueness now with MPSS.
So here's what's really cool about MPSS. And Chris, one of the things that we're now offering as well, we've had it in there, the cloud-based management, so NSM.
Mhm.
Well, we take that 7-day reporting and we take it to 30-day reporting, which is really helpful when you're trying to diagnose a problem, because we all know, you think you have a problem, you don't really report the problem. And then so you just put it out of mind. And then another week goes by and you're like, okay, now maybe I really have a problem, but I'm so busy, I'm not going to worry about it. By the time you get to the third week of the problem, like, okay, this thing keeps happening every Wednesday between noon and 2. I need to call my MSP. They need to figure it out. So if you've got 7 days of reporting, you can't go back to 21 days that it's been happening. We're going to be able to help fix that. So we're going to have about 30 days of reporting that we can go back in there and look. But more importantly, we're there to fully manage this box. Every add, change, delete, troubleshoot, firmware update, add a new firewall rule, add a new site-to-site VPN, whatever it may be, we're going to do all of that for you. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't do some of it for yourself, and that's where this program gets really unique. It's fully managed if you want it to be. If you want to make a simple content filtering rule change because you can get that done in the next 7 minutes, and you don't want to submit a ticket and wait for us to get to it, even if we got to it fast, we're still not going to get to it as fast as you can. You can make changes to the box. Every month, we're going to provide a health check report. And that health check report is going to look for security best practices that we've published and we've put out there. And we're going to send you a report telling you whether you are compliant or not compliant. If you are compliant, we're guaranteeing you that the $250,000 cyber warranty remains intact and in effect. We're also going to give you some other great reporting that's going to be available there for you.
So before we show the reporting, let's just walk through the processes for a partner, right? And make sure we're really clear on this, whether it's an existing APSS that wants to convert to MPSS or net new upgrade going right into MPSS. What's the responsibility in this co-managed solution for a partner initially out the gate before they hand it over to your team at the Knox Center?
That's a great question. So there's a really clear line of who does what here. What we're going to do is, well, what you're going to do in this team effort, I need you to configure the box to the best practices. I need you to deploy the box. Just like when you were buying a new car, when you picked it up from the dealership, you want it to be as roadworthy and capable with the fewest problems possible so that you could just go drive around and enjoy it. So we want you to make sure you're on the right firmware. You've got all your firewall rules, your NAT policies, all your security services, everything is in place that box is operating and your customers out there enjoying the protection that they get. From that point in time, you turn it over to my team. My team is responsible for one, doing a best practices configuration audit. So we're going to look to make sure that your firmware is the right firmware and up to date. We're going to make sure that against all of the best practices that we have in there so that we can guarantee that $250,000. And we're going to be able to send you that health check report telling you you're in a good state or you're not in a good state. And if you're not in a good state, we'll help you get there. From there, it's whatever you want it to be. Again, every add, change, delete, troubleshoot. So we can call this a fully managed. You have to do nothing but give us the guidance and advice. Hey, my client's tired of it's March Madness, Chris. I know how you like some March Madness, and all of a sudden, everybody in the office is trying to watch the playoffs. I'm tired of them watching playoffs. Can you please shut it down? Yes, we can, and yes, we will.
So I think one of the secret sauce, I know we already touched about the cyber warranty, but before we show the analytics report, okay, 100K for APSS, 200K MPSS, but then you've got a couple other services with both email as well as MDR, EDR services. Tell us real quickly, what is that warranty jumping up to with everything turned on?
Yeah, so we can get you all the way up to $1 million. The other thing that it starts to do is you can get some low cost cybersecurity insurance. So it isn't just about the warranty. We're going to give you the warranty. So let's say, you've taken the firewall, you've taken our email security, you're doing our MDR for the endpoint, you're allowing us to do MDR on the firewall and for the cloud. You get all the way up to $1 million warranty, but it also gives you that super low discounted flat rate cyber insurance that we're finding in a lot of instances that the customer was spending the money anyhow, but what they were able to do is save enough money that they could afford all the services and it was the same spend.
Excellent. All right, so let's talk about sample reports. So you had mentioned you're going to provide 30 days worth of reporting. One of the things I always run up against is, hey, we're doing a great job of protecting customers. I see the green lights on. Well, what's it blocking, right? So talk to us a little bit about the executive summary as well as the productivity. You already busted me out for watching March Madness. I tend to use the example if I'm sitting with a client, hey, if you notice spikes between hours and 3 and 5, and it's on TikTok because your employees are making videos or watching it, we're going to send that reporting for non-productive, and then we can implement new rules and policies. So why don't you touch a little bit about this report?
Sure. So this is a report that's not meant to look at you like, hey, we're looking for every single threat that's happening in the box and you've got a SOC analyst behind the scenes. This is truly supposed to be a high level executive summary report, something that you can share with your customer, something that you can highlight yourself. You've got your logo on this report, but it truly just gives you that proof of life. We're going to show you the threats that we prevented. We're going to show you a little bit about the network health. Then we're going to give you some of the productivity insights. From there, there's a couple pages that follow. There's a threat prevention page, a network health page, and a productivity insights page that's going to break it down just a little bit deeper. It's not going to go all the way into the weeds, but something that allows you to have a nice, fast, easy conversation with the customer that says, hey, I don't know that you know this, but in the productivity insights, we're seeing an awful lot of HBO Go, or we're seeing a lot of Netflix or Hulu, or we're seeing a lot of whatever it may be. And, I know you're a car dealership and you really want your employees to be happy, but does it have anything to do with selling cars? And are you losing valuable bandwidth to something that's really not valuable to your organization? Simple, easy, fast, well laid out, and you don't have to be a tech guru to understand what we're producing in these reports.
All right, so then let's talk about how you can access these SKUs. One thing to keep in mind, everybody, is this is a part of the monthly service provider program. So if you're not in the service provider program, shoot myself an email or your territory account manager. He or she will get you spun up real quickly. The one thing, just in full transparency, SonicWall is not a great billing company. We leverage distribution from this standpoint. And so it's the same kind of way from that area. So we'll get you signed up in our monthly program. We offer MPSS SKUs in both a monthly as well as an annual multi-year licensing as well. But again, the caveat, you've got to be in the service provider program. Now, for those of you that have existing EPSS, which I said did go away as a new bundle effective August 1st, or have APS services, and this is enticing, we've got a great short-term offer that's going to be what we call a conversion SKU. And what this does, using this simple graph here, if you've got a TZ appliance, whether it's a TZ 270 all the way up to a 670, if it's got less than 6 months of subscription services and you want to convert it over today into APSS, $155. And you can see anything with more than 1 year services remaining, we can convert over at $840. Same thing applies for the NSA. Again, if you have less than 6 months, 6 to 12, or more than 12 months remaining on your EPS or APSS, we as territory account managers can help provide you with a pathway to get that going in the managed protection security services bundle. Michael, I don't know if you got any comments on that, but again, the one thing to keep in mind, this is going to be available August 25th. So you guys are getting a sneak peek. But this price list will be going out with my video today.
No, Chris, this is a great opportunity for anybody that's concerned. Think about, you've got more than a year left on your firewall, be it 2 years or whatever it may be. $840 to get a monthly health check report, to get a monthly health productivity report, to know that somebody's taking care of and getting your firmware up to date so that you're not one of those statistics that was 90 to 120 days. I mean, it's the best peace of mind that you can buy right now for the investment that you've made on a product, and have a team of professionals that's going to do it the right way every time.
Yeah, I think the other benefit, everybody, especially if you move them over into the monthly, then you're not getting into that, hey, Chris is sending me the annual renewal notices. Your team can focus on that new growth business, land and expand, and then let SonicWall knock team take it off from there. So very good. So Michael, before I leave, I did want to give you one more shout out. We had mentioned that 100K PSS goes to 200K and then can go up to $1 million. Give me a 30-second commercial on your SOC team and what they can do, even with the SIEM evaluation with the networks appliances as well.
Sure. So look, what you're seeing on this page right now is a lot of logos that don't belong to us. It is our commitment to creating an open ecosystem, being more than who we are for the products that we make and develop and the things that we think are amazing and wonderful, but we know that you've got choices. If you don't like our endpoint technology, but you love SentinelOne, or you like Cylance, now Arctic Wolf Aurora, or you like Windows Defender, you like Capture Client, you like SentinelOne, whatever it may be, we can support you on that journey. Think about what's happening in the Microsoft 365 and Google Workspace ecosystems. It's the #1 attack surface where the identities are being compromised. 80% of the alerts with the SonicWall Security Operations Center is coming out from those. We can take care of that. And for those of you that maybe are listening to this, and maybe you once were a SonicWall partner, but you've moved on and you've got Checkpoint, Palo Alto, WatchGuard, Fortinet, Meraki, pfSense, Cisco, whatever it may be, we can provide SOC services around those firewalls, around your domain controllers, other core and critical assets. It's a new SonicWall. If you haven't taken a look at us lately, it's probably time to come back and see what we're doing today, because if you think we only do firewalls, we do a lot more.
Great. That was a great summary, Michael. Again, always appreciate having you on. So for the partners, I'm going to put a list here. I'm going to also have a webinar for those of you in the Southern California market, September 17th. I don't know if Michael's coming out, but Jason Carter, our CRO, will be joining me in Los Angeles at Topgolf. I got a limited space up to about 100 individuals. So please, I'll put that in the link as well. You can register for that. And who knows, maybe I can convince Michael to come out to the West Coast and sneak out of DC for a couple of days. So
I don't mind the West Coast, Chris. I don't mind it.
Beautiful, my friend. All right. Thank you very much, Michael. With that, I'm gonna send us out of here and play some of your outro music that you sent over to me. So thank you very much, bud. Have a good one.
From the ashes, I will rise. No satisfaction without the fire.